It was a crisp autumn morning in downtown Manhattan. The glass windows of Ethan & Company, a luxury fashion brand, shimmered under the golden sunlight. Known for its exclusive designs, sky-high prices, and elite clientele, Ethan & Company wasn't just a store, it was a statement of status. Wearing simple, slightly worn jeans and a faded gray sweatshirt, 62-year-old Walter Dawson stood hesitantly at the grand entrance. His weathered hands clutched a small photograph of a younger man. His eyes, though tired, carried a spark of quiet pride. He had come to see his son. Inside the store, towering shelves displayed bespoke suits, Italian leather shoes, and custom perfumes. The air smelled of cedarwood and understated luxury. At the entrance stood Kevin, the head security guard, a tall man in a sleek black uniform, sunglasses still perched on his nose despite being indoors. As Walter stepped forward nervously, Kevin stretched his arm out, blocking him. "Sir, this is not a place for people like you." Kevin's tone was curt, almost disgusted. "We don't allow beggars or vagrants inside. Please don't waste our time." Walter blinked, confused. He cleared his throat gently. I'm just here to meet someone. His name is Ethan Dawson. Maybe you can tell him." Kevin scoffed. "Ethan Dawson? Our CEO? Don't be ridiculous, old man. You think someone like you knows Mr. Dawson?" He chuckled coldly and glanced at Rachel Adams, the store's polished, sharp-tongued general manager, who had just approached after noticing the commotion. Rachel, clad in an expensive navy blazer and stiletto heels, looked Walter up and down with a sneer. "Kevin, get him out. Push him if you have to. We don't have time to entertain crazy old men." Kevin didn't hesitate. He grabbed Walter by the arm roughly and shoved him toward the sidewalk. His fragile body stumbled, nearly falling onto the cold concrete. Passers-by barely glanced at the scene. In a city like New York, such things were sadly too common. Walter gathered himself, dusted off his jeans, and slowly walked away, but not before Rachel's last words echoed bitterly behind him. "Don't ever come back. There's no place for trash here." The next day, a buzz filled Ethan & Company. The staff stood straighter, the air was tight with anticipation. Word had spread quickly, Mr. Ethan Dawson himself was coming to the flagship store today. It wasn't a common occurrence, Ethan rarely made public appearances. At only 29, he was a prodigy billionaire. Handsome, sharply intelligent, and charismatic, he had built his fashion empire from scratch. A black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up. The chauffeur stepped out swiftly, opening the door. Ethan emerged, dressed immaculately in a tailored charcoal suit, but what caught everyone's attention was the elderly man who stepped out behind him, the same man from yesterday, Walter. Kevin's face drained of color. Rachel, standing nearby, stiffened as if her blood had turned to ice. Ethan walked inside with Walter by his side, one hand gently supporting his father's arm. His usual warm smile was missing, today his jaw was clenched tight. His piercing blue eyes scanned the staff until they landed on Kevin and Rachel. "Kevin," Ethan's voice was calm but sharp as a knife. "Rachel. A word." They shuffled nervously into the private office. Ethan didn't sit. Instead, he reached into his suit pocket, pulled out a small, worn photograph, and placed it on the table. It was an old photo of him as a child, sitting on Walter's shoulders, both laughing freely in a sunlit park. "This man, the man you humiliated, disrespected, and threw out yesterday, he's my father." Ethan's voice broke slightly with emotion but remained steady. "The man who worked 2 jobs, 7 days a week, the man who skipped meals so I could go to college, the man who mortgaged his house so I could start this brand." He turned slowly, his eyes glistening with restrained tears. "He wore simple clothes because he spent his entire life giving me everything. And yesterday, you judged him. You pushed him. You insulted him." His gaze hardened. Effective immediately, you're both fired. Rachel opened her mouth to protest, but Ethan held up his hand, silencing her. I don't need people in my company who look down on others based on appearances. My father taught me better than that. Outside, Ethan led Walter gently to the Grand CEO office. He helped him into the chair and sat across from him. I'm sorry, Dad, Ethan whispered, his voice cracking. I should have been there yesterday. You should never have faced that. Walter smiled faintly, placing a hand over his son's. Son, you don't have to apologize. I came here yesterday because I missed you. Not because I wanted special treatment. He paused, tears forming in his tired eyes. I just wanted to see what you built, to tell you how proud I am of you. Ethan's shoulders shook as silent tears rolled down his cheeks. In that glittering glass tower, filled with millions of dollars worth of merchandise, two simple men sat, father and son, their hearts richer than anything money could buy. Ethan restructured the company's policies. The first sign that hung on the door read, Every human deserves respect. Always. He created a foundation under his father's name, the Walter Dawson Foundation, which provided scholarships and support to children from low-income families, ensuring no one would have to struggle the way his father once did. And in every board meeting, every gala, and every photo shoot, Ethan Dawson introduced his father proudly. This is Walter Dawson. The man who gave me everything. And the man who owns my heart.